Hi, how are you? Thank you for watching my last video and the comments on there. I appreciate you so much. Yay, I did it. I used I used the Mr. Benz, right? And it was good too because a lot of people liked. I've said that a couple times, like on the videos, I'll start talking about the parenting. Now, I am a mother of two. I have two children. My children are 18 years apart. I have a daughter, she's 35, and my son is 16. He'll be 17 the end of October. Okay. I have two babies' fathers, right? Do I like them? Do I get along with them? Am I married with them? Those are questions. Are you married? Do you have children? Were you married and you got a divorce and found yourself single? Questions like that. For me and my situation, I have two. Like I said, 18 years apart. My daughter, that was, kind of a struggle thing because I was young and I was a different person back then. We change, by the way, like every 30 days we might change, or shit, some people change every day, you know what I mean? But we change in our minds, the neural electrons in our mind, the neural pathways in our mind. We change. So my neural pathways back then was way different than they were when I had my son, and they were way different now that I'm doing what I'm doing, So that's what you have to do. Take a deep breath sometimes when you're single and you have children, because your children have the right to know who their opposite parent is or who their opposite caretaker is, whatever. They have a right to know. If two people are birds and the bees and kicking it in the pod, and then something else comes out of the kicking it in the pod, the person that's in that little pod, the third wheel, they deserve to know who was doing the dealings, their mom or their dad. That's my opinion. Now, with that being said, my daughter didn't know her dad until she was maybe really 7 or 8. Because I kind of flew away from him. I left him a note on the kitchen table and told him, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. I call your job, and then your job tells me you haven't been working there for a whole entire month. And then when I ask you about it, you tell me, bitch, mind my business. I don't like you anymore like that. So that started that with me. So I left him the note, moved when he was playing basketball, when he said he was working. But maybe basketball is work. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. But whatever he was doing, when he came home, he saw the note, we left. I think they had some kind of festival or something out here, and she seen him. And she saw him, she was like, oh, that's my dad. I think that's my dad. And I'm like, where? I hope but hence they connected again. So I went through that battle back and forth, but at the end of the day, to this present day, I still deal with him. Not in an intimate relationship, but anything that concerns my daughter. Now, because my daughter associates with him, that's going to trickle down to me. My dad this, my dad that, when we might not even want to hear nothing that you're doing anymore. So I understand the glitch why people don't do it, but it's wrong because it's self-care. We wear oil fragrances. We want to feel good. And our children should feel the same. They don't have to wear oils, but make their life a little bit sane. Sane, because I didn't know my dad coming up. Make it a little bit sane and something they don't have to search for later. Her dad and I talk. He calls me up today and says, oh, could you tell our daughter to call me because I'm stressed out. He has 12 children. By another, he got married and everything. My daughter is in it. He had 2 children before I met him, which he lied and said he only had 1. So, stuff like that. Okay. 12 children this man has. So the number 11, because he has a baby on the way. There's a girl that's actually pregnant to this day, having a baby, his 12th child. This is by a different woman. But his children are from 3 women altogether, 12 children. That's his business. But it's mine when you call me up and ask me to call our daughter because you're stressed out about one of your children. Now, my daughter is a child herself. She just met you, when you're her dad. You guys have a connection. You love each other. But by no means can she solve your problems. You have to solve your own problems. But I'm saying that to say that sometimes when you want to, he claimed that he changed. I changed. I've done it. He hasn't changed. We came from one state to the other, and he did the same thing in a different town because he had the same mindset. We change. Didn't I just say we change? You know, like scientifically, our brains change and things like that. Sometimes we do, right? And sometimes we don't. But I think people do change, but they have the same program. Like, it's either I'm a thug or I'm not. I'm either, you know, a princess or, you know, or I'm a robot. You know what I mean? It's like either way, you're going to change. For, you know, maybe you change, you're not changing, but to like, let's say this. He's probably changing, but to me, he's not, because he's not doing the things I want him to do. Let's put it like that. So when you have a mate and you're getting down and everything is cool, but when they don't do what you want them to do, then it's a problem. You change the way you think. That's the change. You change in some way. But I think the suffering came from even like me myself. Well, I don't like him, the hate, the leads to resentment. That was what I was feeling. Now, even to this day, my daughter, I'm coming in the video. I'm not giving my daughter the message to anything. And normally I would, but she's 35 now. And if you don't have her number, she doesn't have the number, like you guys can't get in touch, maybe she doesn't want to be bothered in hearing that. I don't know. But I'm not passing that message along. Now, I was wrong back in the day because I didn't mention him. And when I did, it was negative. But she sees it for herself. And guess what? She's still madly in love with her father. And that's the way it should be. I didn't have that. You know what I mean? I didn't have that, I don't want to be bothered. I didn't have the choice. So I think having the choice is great. But as a single parent, and like if you're anything and you understand anything I'm saying, like I'm not going to be caught in the middle. But I'm not giving my daughter that message either. If you have problems, you know, you bumped and grind with your wife or whoever, and you had children, and now you're having problems with your children, it's probably something that you did or did not do, which my daughter shouldn't have to solve the problem for that, right? So I guess I'm being a little, you know, mean, witchy poo, because I'm not delivering that message. And a lot of my friends, they tell me, they're like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even talk to him. I understand. I really do. But at the end of the day, I was with him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I have to step up and tell my daughter what's going on. Mistakes maybe that I... Hey, how are you? That you just saw, I did that one night, right? I was just coming in from oils. When I say coming in from oils, I'm Renee. I started a business outside. So sometimes I meet people out here and they buy oils from me. And then sometimes people like yourself get them from me online. So I was running around and I had thoughts about the parenting, because there's different topics, right, to this channel. But oil fragrances, right? Oil, that's the soul. That's the glue to this whole thing. That's the spiritual glue, because fragrances sometimes make you do what you do. Okay? But yeah. But that flick right there that I had put, yeah, that's some true stuff, because I had one of my customers tell me, my daughter's father is in the picture. You know what I mean? He is alive and viable and still saying things. We connect, as I said, but I'm not going to have my daughter be his cushion. You know, we're not going to do that. So that's really what that message is. And I condone, because I didn't know my real dad, and my customer told me my son's father passed away. And she told me, she said, I wish my baby's dad would die. I said, wait, hold up. And it just brought back a lot of memories and everything. My daughter was dating some asshole guy that was hitting her and blacked her eye. So, of course I called her dad. You know what I mean? So times like that, you need the opposite sex. And sometimes not just the opposite sex that you've met out, but the biological connection. A biological connection can do a lot of things. It can, one, make your child feel more secure. It can make them feel whole. It can make them just feel like they're actually loved. And it stops their mouth from running, talking about you ain't this and you ain't that. I'm your mom and I'm your dad. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that kind of halts that up. About the talking, you know, the tongue is powerful. I've used my tongue in ways that has brought people to not like me. Oh well, sometimes you have to speak up and say what you need, say what you mean. And that's why I'm doing this video. That flick that I said late at night, that's still true. My daughter met and connected back with her biological dad at a festival. She spotted him, you know what I mean? She was like, I think that's my dad, and it was. But it was meant to be, and I didn't want to be bothered. Even to this day, we're cordial to each other. But we used to be like, MFer, F you, you're this, your mom's fat, your mom, blah, blah, blah. He used to talk about my mom, you know, this daggering stuff. So this is tolerable now, year 2024 that we're in. So I'm not delivering that message to my daughter. And then to ease my mind, so I don't feel like I'm being catty in no kind of way at the video and saying this today, I told my daughter, I said, you know what, if your dad calls me and asks me to have you call him and different things, she said, oh, I was trying to call him, he didn't answer his phone. So like I said, they have a connection. But I'm not delivering that. I'm not being the doormat. I'm not being the bridge anymore. The bridge is clipped. Now, there's pieces of the bridge left, which is me, but I'm no longer the standing bridge and everything. But in the beginning, hear me, in the beginning, you should be, you better be, because it's kind of a foundation. There's a mom and there's a dad. There's no way a little kid should go to school and not have a dad story or not have a mom story. And even if it's a caretaker and not the real mom and dad, I get that. But at the end of the day, when you strip that banana down, it's got to be yellow, because if it's rotten, you want to throw it out. And sometimes if you don't know your dad or your mom biologically, it might feel like a banana throw out. You know what I mean? You want to do a whole nother banana, but it's not like that in life. You know what I mean? If say we could just throw stuff back and just peel it back and all of a sudden it's brand new. We can do it in our minds. But to not even let your kid go there, I think it's best to know who they come from, their mom or their dad, even if it was a tragedy, even my situation, like it was for me, the one state to the other, and, you know, he's not complying, he's doing this, doing that, slapping your face, you know, choking your neck, you know, all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, your child still has the right to know who it was, because you laid down with him and liked them before. You did it before. That's how I feel. But anyway, yes, yeah, I mean, we could have more baby daddy talks, but I just wanted to get that going. Oh, being here, I'm Renee McDaniel. They call me Lady Outside because I started business outside here in another state. I came from New Jersey and now I'm in Ohio. And yeah, you see my bike back there, been bike riding and just get my groove on, and sometimes don't feel like I'm doing anything because I'm not standing outside like I am, or jumping out of my van when somebody comes, or just walking out of my van when somebody comes. Just the outside stuff I'm used to. So you'll probably see me in a lot of outside videos. So yeah, Lady Outside. And matter of fact, by the way, I have made a metaphysical connection, actually, without even knowing it. You know, starting a business outside is a metaphysical thing. It keeps you healthy, it keeps you strong. I turned 60 this year, and I feel like 26. Well, I don't even know about the age stuff, but I feel wonderful, I feel great. There's a little couple of things I need to work on, like coming on the video more, but I'm getting it. It's been, what, about 4 or 5 days since we've seen each other, but I just wanted to say, I did that video at night, and I just wanted to put it on. The biological connection is very, 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 very important. I know that first off. I know that firsthand from my story. If you want to hear more about my story, or if you're a single mom and you're struggling right now, maybe you're like, I want them to know the dad, but he's just a mofo. He's just full of SHI. And sometimes they are, but they wasn't full of it before. They didn't act like that before. So yeah, if you love oil fragrances and you want to get a couple of facts about the fragrances, click my link at the bottom. It's a little booklet, facts about oil fragrances, or watch my video about how to make oil fragrances. And I just put a bunch of fragrances. I put a bunch of fragrances in one bottle, and it came out pretty good. The alcohol fume, I kind of smell. I think my nose is like a dog, but I smell the alcohol fume in there. But once it dies down, you can smell all the notes, the top notes, the bottom notes. It's just a rare fragrance. That's what it is. But today, I got my dram. I'm home with the dram right here. This is Jean Paul Gaultier in this bottle. Jean Paul Gaultier, some pink sugar, and a little bit of my mix. And that's what I was wearing today. I'm smelling it. Yeah, that scene that I just put on, that was from at night. I'm glad I put it on. But yeah, the biological connection is very, very, it's very much necessary. It's very much necessary. What's your opinion? Isn't the truth supposed to set you free? But why do I feel so weighed down by it? If I can show them everything I've seen, reveal the lies and change their minds and feel like I did. When I spoke, they told me sit down. But how can I when I've already started running? Oh, that is how it was. And I might have been young, but I know that I wasn't wrong. So I made that wish to have something more for us than this. So I made that wish to have something more for us than this. That is my movie wish. That is my movie wish. I remember that when I was a little girl, and it just brought back a lot of memories. What Disney movie have you watched that kind of made your eyes feel some kind of way? And I mean, the Wish movie, have you seen that? It's about the girl, and you know, she's in a little town, and you have to watch it for yourself. But her whole, that story and the songs in there moved me so much. I said, let me come to a video because this is great, because this starts my parenting thing, because biological connection is everything, baby. A biological relationship with your dad or your mom can stop you from doing a lot of things. I mean, diving into trying to help all the sick animals. No offense to sick animals and no offense to potential men, but it'll stop you from that. It's what you have, sweetie, not what you pretend to have or pretend to get. Potential, maybe it's pretend. We want it right now. Okay, so that was that. But that movie, it just, you know, I used to always make a wish because my mom got married. My mom was a teen mom, and I never knew my biological father, but I had a damn good father, daddy figure. But there was a little friction and problems in that home too. And I always felt as a little girl, like if I knew my father, maybe it wouldn't be this way, maybe it wouldn't be that way. And I found him, and that's a story with that too. But the little girl in me, that little girl in me came right out when I saw that Wish movie. But the little girl, if she's not healed, she can run rampant, because the tears came down my eyes, but I'm stable and found in my newfound body and who I am. You know, we got a couple of minds, right? We got the ego, we got the ultra ego, we got the consciousness, we got, you know, we got the little girl in us, you know, you got the little dude in you, you got the little guy in you, then you got the, you know, alpha in you, when really, you know, maybe the little guy wants to step up. I'm like, come on, let's keep it real. So that just came up in the, you know, just watching that movie, that Wish movie. It's so powerful, and it's so more than this. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was wanting this business at my job, didn't have, you know, what I wanted, but I wished. I pretend, act as if the law of attraction, it works. What you attract to you, it's what you think about. Most of the time you get, good or bad. But I just wanted to come on and say that. Oh yeah, and I got some, I don't have it with me right now because I just pushed the camera just to come on, and I didn't even know if I was going to put that video on when I was in my van and car and things like that, but I'm glad I did. I'm coming on a video, and I have 2 of the perfume fragrances that I made, but they're soon. I'm hoping they leave my family, to be honest with you, because we do oils over here. And by the way, I did try to introduce them to some of my customers, and they were like looking at me like, are you okay? Looking at me like I was crying, you know what I mean, when I was not. So we just do oils here, but I do, if you're, I don't know, maybe you've asked me a couple of times, or you asked me once, do I make perfumes, or could I do a perfume one? My channel is open. If you look at my channel, you might not say anything. I know you're there. You've purchased from me before. A couple people have. I have names, you know what I mean? People that have purchased. So thank you so much, YouTube. And I just wanted to come and, the biological connection is so very important, but it starts with the little kid in us. I mean, I didn't know my father coming up, and then I attached that to my daughter too later on, but you got to watch the beginning of the video. I put that on there, but yeah, the perfumes are for sale here. I call them perfumes cologne. They're not toilettes because it's only 1 ounce of the Mr. Benz mix, which just makes a perfume or a cologne. So it's here while supplies last. You could get it. I'll put the link at the bottom for that, and also a link to, let's get together. I'm going to put a link down, and maybe fall's coming. Winter time's coming. It's not so much summer gonna be, and then again, maybe it is, the sun comes out every day. I love the sun. I look for it every day, whether it comes out or not. But yeah, the link at the bottom, and we could get together and have a little session and release that inner, you know what I mean? Because it's there anyway. But if your inner dude is calm when you hear something from back in the day, then okay, stay watching my video. But if not, if the little dude in you or the little girl in you frails up and something like that, maybe we need to get let's just bond and hug. Let's get on some kind of a chat, Zoom call. I'm figuring it out. We're gonna get on a Zoom call. Put your name, fill your little name out and everything like that, on the little sheet, like everybody else does on the internet. And then I'll get your information, and then I can email you. And then we can have our little, let's talk about a couple things for real. So you make your wish. And I like to, sometimes when you want to talk and say, I did this, you just sing. And that's sometimes with me. I'm not a professional singer, but sometimes if I want to get a point across, sometimes when I'm shy to say it, I might sing it. So just click that link and let's start to come together and think that, yeah. Have a good day. Thank you for subscribing. I'm Renee. I started a business outside to feed my daughter. She's grown now with 4 kids. I got 4 grandchildren. Well, the one's in the bun, okay? She has it February. Yeah, 4 grandchildren I have. Wow. Glam children, I call it, because, yeah, that's what they call it, right? Psh, yes. Let's stay connected. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, and stay smelling amazing your way.